Lauren Berengay was superb in the derby last weekend and finally scored his first A-League goal in his 27th appearance. One enforced change for Wellington. Tim Payne is suspended after being sent off against the Glory. His place at right back is taken by Te Atawhai Hudson-Wihongi, who earns a first A-League start. Matty Steinman returns from illness and suspension, with Alex Rufer dropping to the reserves. And Gary Hooper scored twice as a second-half sub last weekend. He said this week he didn't come to Wellington to sit on the bench. He gets his wish today with a return to the starting side. There is Gary Hooper, happy to be back in the starting 11.
I appreciate your common sense with the sock thing, but this ground, use your feet.
Man, it's, you know what, like, this is good.
Referee tonight, Alex King. Historically, neither of these sides do too well under his control. We'll get onto that in a sec, because there is 8-year-old Imogen Errington. Very special coin toss kid for us tonight. She's been looking forward to this all week and gets the chance to get involved in the coin toss. Young Imogen Errington. The Phoenix have won just 3 of 7 games with Alex King in charge. Melbourne, only 2 from 7. Mark Rawle and Sarah Jones are the assistants.
Great flick.
Okay, so you stay that way, you get the ball. Can we just jump in? Jump in for a photo, yeah? Jump in here, stand in the middle, yeah? Stand in the middle.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do a round of applause to our coin tosser today, Imogen Errington, as she comes from the field. In his final season as an A-League player, Phoenix coach Ufuk Talay was part of a North Queensland side that lost all 3 of their games against Melbourne City, who were then in their inaugural season, known as Melbourne Heart. He'll be hoping for a far better outcome as a coach tonight. And Frenchman Eric Monbert's made a pretty good fist of his first season coaching in the A-League, guiding City to second on the table. His side second only to runaway leader Sydney FC in each of the 3 big metrics: points, wins and goals scored. They're also playing the most passes in the competition this season. Melbourne City captain Scott Jamieson will soon join a pretty exclusive club, having debuted as a 19-year-old over 11 years ago. His next game after tonight will be number 250. There's Ulysses Davila just coming into shot now. He leads the entire A-League in shots on goal. 65 he's fired off in 16 games. His 10 goals to date include a late penalty the last time the Phoenix were here to get a 2-1 win over Western Sydney. Just about set. A couple of last-minute adjustments to the corner flag is what's holding us up just for a couple of seconds longer. Those adjustments have been made by our 4th official, Lachlan Keevers, and we're set for a start. Referee Alex King gets us underway. The Phoenix bring an A-League game to Auckland for the 12th time. They've lost here just once and never in 6 previous matches at Eden Park. And despite losing their unbeaten run last month, the Phoenix have still won 7 and lost just 2 of their last 11. For their part, Melbourne City have lost just 1 of their last 6 and haven't been out of the top 2 since round 3. Lots to look forward to on a pretty good night for football in Auckland. Fred de Jong, the approaches of the 2 sides will be fascinating to watch as always. And it's a fairly robust start from both sides. Chance for a raid here from Susaeta. Can't quite get on the end of it. And the first goal kick of the contest.
Yes, I think tonight will be a real tactical battle between these 2 coaches. It's a back 4 set up for Melbourne City. Looks like they're in a defensive, in their defensive formation. They have been playing 4-1-4-1, but looks like they're counteracting the way the Phoenix are going to attack in a 4-4-2 formation when they're defending at the moment, Melbourne City. As for the Phoenix, David Ball alongside Gary Hooper up top, with Ulysses Davila just sitting in behind. And I think when the Phoenix don't have the ball, you'll probably see Davila head out to the right flank and do his defensive duties out there.
So many attacking weapons for Melbourne City, not least of which is Jamie McLaren, of course. 14 goals so far this season for Melbourne City's number 9. But the supply line to him can come from all sorts of places. Markel Susaeta starting to find his feet in the A-League. Adrian Luna, of course, Craig Noon. And let's not forget Florin Berengay, such a wonderful game from him in the derby last week, including his first A-League goal. Phoenix just having trouble clearing their lines. Matty Steinman back into the starting 11 today after illness ruled him out against the Glory. Here's Piscopo with clever feet, looking to open up the field. And a first chance for Tiarafai Hudson-Wihongi to get on the ball. Brings it down well. Davila. Ball outside. A bit of a cul-de-sac forced there by Curtis Good. Hudson-Wihongi again. And the calls for that haven't gone out, but Sarah Jones was in close attendance. Davila helps it into the area. Flipped up and over, and actually a fairly effective header in the end, which Glover was able to safely pouch. Roston Griffiths again filling in at centre-back tonight.
And good to see Tiarafai Hudson-Wihongi, who's come in at right back, given the suspension to Tim Payne. Good to see him getting us so far forward so quickly in the game.
Yeah, that was the major point of conjecture about the Phoenix's selection this week. Who would fill in for the injured Tim Payne, who has started the last 12 games? In the end, Hudson-Wihongi's got the nod over other candidates, Brandon Wilson being the other most obvious one. Wilson is among the substitutes tonight. Wellington settling into this passing game that has become their trademark this season. Their pass completion is the best in the comp at around 83%. Steinman. Touch from Davila and back from Piscopo. Flying boot from Roston Griffiths was effective enough. Here's Jamison. Ball might find its way through to Susaeta, but Kakachi has other ideas, takes it away from the Spaniard, and the referee saw a foul but allowed play to go on. Kakachi pursued all the way by Susaeta, goes inside and is called back for a foul. In the opinion of the referee, that's a foul by Libby Kakachi on Markel Susaeta.
Yeah, I think he's been pinged here, just clipping the ankles of Susaeta. Or maybe even tugging at his shoulder. A good strong run by Libby Kakachi as well. So both flanks for the Phoenix already looking dangerous.
Yeah, he leads Wellington stats and dribbles, does Libby Kakachi. Made a famous one here last year against Melbourne Victory that, in footballing parlance, broke the ankles of Keisuke Honda. Crowd here no doubt will be looking for similar from him tonight.
And a good crowd too, Piney. Pretty full on the far side. People behind the goal and also in the stand below us in the commentary area. So Auckland's done very well this evening, crowd-wise.
Yeah, only 8,500 here before Christmas. Many more here tonight. Susaeta. Here's Luna looking to haul this one in. And his cross too close to Stefan Marinovic. Adrian Luna, the Uruguayan, an amazing piece of skill last week in the derby that set up the goal. He somehow controlled the ball off his back while running at pretty much full speed. Maybe a foul on Davila. Wellington keen to get it going quickly. Piscopo with Kakachi Raiding up outside. Devlin. Now Steinman. Devlin again. Davila getting involved in those little areas of space between the lines nice and early. His dink towards ball is misdirected and Glover has no problem.
I think one area that the Phoenix need to be a little concerned about is the transition play that Melbourne employ when they do win the ball in the opposition half. They try and break forward very, very quickly. We saw that last week in the derby. We saw it against Perth as well. And I think it's something the Phoenix, if they do give possession away in and around their own goal, they have to react very, very quickly.
As some of the very good crowd that has gathered here, Stephen Taylor has played every minute for the Phoenix this season. He and Luke De Vere have been mainstays at the back, as has that man, Stefan Marinovic, who's also been an ever-present. Crowd find their voice as it's a sloppy giveaway and a chance for McLaren. You don't want to give him a chance on goal. They have, though, and Marinovic makes up for his error. Well, Jamie McLaren, one of the league's most dangerous marksmen, was presented with the first real opportunity there. Marinovic redressed the balance and made sure no further damage was accruing.
And some ball, that first time pass, I think it might have been Adrian Luna, the ball that Marinovic mishit. His first time pass perfectly weighted for McLaren to get him behind the defence.
4 goals in 11 games against the Phoenix for Jamie McLaren. He was withdrawn after scoring last week with what was either, depending on who you believe, a hamstring twinge or a bit of cramp. Doesn't seem to be suffering any ill effects. As I say, 14 goals this season. He's got a wee way to go before he catches Bruno Fornaroli's Melbourne City record of 25. Composed passing out from Wellington. Kakachi looks to push it past Atkinson, who wasn't having a bar of that. He'd be well aware of the danger presented by Libby Kakachi. Steinman already getting on the ball a lot early on. Freddie was missed in the last 2 games through illness and suspension.
Yeah, I think Matty Steinman's shown the ability to pick up the ball from, especially Luke De Vere and Stephen Taylor, 2 centre-backs, turn on the ball and then play forward. I think that forward impetus was what the Phoenix were lacking, especially against Perth. And I think for them, hopefully, that's what he can bring this afternoon.
Piscopo has his pocket picked. Good work from Susaeta, but it's then given away by Susaeta, and Steinman can break forward. Davila wants to get onto that left foot. Takes it forward. Brought down by Ball brilliantly! And a last-ditch save by Roston Griffiths. Wonderful last-gasp clearance from makeshift centre-back Roston Griffiths. Otherwise, David Ball opens the scoring.
And what a ball from Davila. Beautiful control from David Ball. And unfortunately for him, he can't get enough power on the shot. And that allows Griffiths to get back and hook the ball clear. Beautiful attacking play from the Phoenix and good defending from Melbourne City as well.
Phoenix remain on attack through Davila into a crowded penalty area. Good solid punch by Glover. Up in the air from Ball, away by Good. Nice bright opening to this game. Kakachi sees the keeper off his line. I think Glover had it covered. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Libby Kakachi is certainly shooting there.
Yeah, Kaka's taking a look. Glover on about the 6-yard line. I thought he was knew that one was going wide. As we highlighted in the pre-game, I think set plays could be an area where Melbourne City can get exposed by the Phoenix.
Yeah, 7 goals they've conceded from corners, the most in the comp. To be fair though, Wellington, it hasn't really been their strong suit in recent times, has it, corners? As far as scoring from them is concerned. Chance for Melbourne City to attack now through Noon. Into Beron Gay. Lovely touch. He tries to pull it back for a teammate. It was actually a very good pass. Had someone been in its path. Piscopo looks to set David Ball away. He won't quite catch up with that one. Really enjoyed watching Florin Beron Gay last week, scoring his first goal and then setting up McLaren with that lovely back heel. He hasn't had the happiest of times in the A-League, Florin Beron Gay, but good to see him perhaps starting to find the form that brought him down under.
And it was a lovely first touch for his first goal in the A-League. He set himself up beautifully just to be able to pass the ball into the net for 1-0. I think, Piney, it's more open this game than I was expecting. I think both teams really looking, when they do have possession, to push forward, get players forward, and especially try and get in behind the opposition.
Brillante doing that defensive midfield work. He is renowned for cutting that one out. Now can they set up an attack? They'll just catch their breath through Griffiths. Roston Griffiths actually played with Ufuk Talay at North Queensland Fury in the 09-10 season, so I'll no doubt enjoy a catch-up at some stage and a reminisce about old times. Beron Gay. Jamison lifts it in. There's a hint of offside about this, but the flag has stayed down. Now it is raised against Jamie McLaren, who had drifted the wrong side. It seemed fairly obvious, but Mark Rawle keeping his flag down for a touch longer than perhaps was comfortable for some of the fans.
You see a lot this run from Jamie McLaren. Starts centrally, runs into the corner, in behind the right and left fullbacks to pick up the ball.
This one's gone all the way through to Hooper, and he collides with Glover. That is a nasty collision. Player stopped, and thankfully Glover's okay. Hooper as well. They get up with pats on the back and handshakes. I think everybody knew that both players had their eyes only on the ball, but sometimes those end up pretty nasty.
Yeah, Hooper with his foot raised there. Fortunately for Glover, that foot hits him on the forearm. Yes, looked a lot worse than it eventually ended up being. We noticed the goalkeepers before the game kicking the ball. When the ball bounces, it really does skid through, and we saw that right there. Gary Hooper getting on the end of it.
This time it's Glover who muffs his clearance somewhat, but it's tidied up by his back four. Nice little pass for Beron Gay. Taylor in the way, and he wants everyone just to calm down a bit. Stephen Taylor. Almost given away again, and now it is given away. Noon with a chance. Plenty up with him. Susaeta, also Luna there as well. Away from Kakachi and helped away even further by Piscopo. They'll come again through Brillante. Luna. Susaeta now. What can he conjure up? Brings Atkinson in. Good this from Melbourne City. Is there an end product? Atkinson will try one. Straight at Marinovic. Tracking across the face of the penalty area. Stefan Marinovic always had it covered.
Yeah, something Atkinson likes to do. Cut inside, hit it with his left foot. Saw that again last week in the Derby. Unfortunately for him that time, almost took out the corner flag. This time, much better result. But that attack from Melbourne City started from poor passing from the Phoenix in their back third. And again, we saw the quick transition play from Melbourne City to create the opportunity.
Here they come again through Berongay. Tried to slip one through there to a raiding Scott Jamieson, who puts a hand in the chest of Stephen Taylor. Referees decided we'll come back for a free kick. The two captains together, combative characters both. You can see Scott Jamieson with a big smile on his face as he comes in there. It's like they're playing their own little game.
I think Stephen Taylor certainly making the most of that one.
The long goal kick seemed to be the tactic early on anyway for the Phoenix. Kakachi is shoved off the ball by Luna, earns a free kick. And Uruguayan not best pleased with that, but referee Alex King was fairly certain. Steinman breaks forward. Davila. Now, Hudson Wihongi. Great moment for Te Arawhai Hudson Wihongi to be making his starting debut in his hometown. Susaeta presses De Vere, who bends it round him into the path of Kakachi, who's got a little bit of real estate to work with. Steinman is quickly closed down. It gets a pass away to Davila. He has then it taken off him by Jamieson. And was Jamieson fouled by Steinman as he pushed it past him? In fact, Noon. Good tracking back in the first instance from Craig Noon and then winning the foul. Picked the pocket of Davila. And was fouled by Steinman. Good slick passing from Melbourne City. Nice from Griffiths to Susaeta. Can he thread one into the path of Luna? He can, but De Vere was aware, and he'll do the tidying up very nicely. In fact, the last part of it wasn't so good because it's gone to a Melbourne City player, but in fact the ball had gone out for what will be a throw for the visitors. Atkinson. Piscopo back, trying to slow his progress. He gets the cross in. It's a good one, just a bit high for McLaren. Noon with the shot. Not sure if it was going in. De Vere wasn't taking any chances. City still hot on attack. Brillante. Atkinson still forward. And it's finally broken up, although they'll look to go again, will they, through Jamieson? Might be a bit of a mini break on here if the Phoenix can get it forward quickly. Davila's going to try and do just that. Hooper and ball up ahead. Ball with only now Hooper to aim at in the area. City are back quickly. Davila looks to play a return pass to David Ball, who wasn't on the same wavelength, and it all breaks down.
I think David Ball's pass was actually intended for Matty Steinman, who was breaking through out of midfield. This is Davila, thought he wanted to go for a 1-2. And the movement ended. But some lovely passing from both teams, especially as they push forward into the attacking parts of the field. I think one area also that the Phoenix potentially can look to exploit is that when Melbourne play with the back four with Josh Brillante sitting just in front. If the Phoenix can get the ball out into the wide areas, Brillante comes across to put some pressure on the guy wide, and that leaves some space in the middle of the park. So if they can then pull them out wide and then pass the ball into the centre of the field, maybe they can break through the centre.
Atkinson has kept that one in. and he might have kept the attack going. No, he hasn't. And eventually the ball rebounds off him as he lay prone on the turf, and it'll be a throw. He thought he was fouled in the act of all of that. Good willing contest between two top, well, I was going to say top four sides. Adelaide have gone past the Phoenix into fourth now with their win last night. The Phoenix can reclaim the fourth spot if they achieve a 2-goal win tonight. That would take them above Adelaide United again with the same number of points, but a better goal difference. Melbourne City, for their part, can move to 33 points tonight with a win. They'd still be 7 behind Sydney FC, but crucially, they'd be 4 ahead of Perth Glory. However, they would have played 2 more games. Sort of tugging on shirts in there, which Alex King eventually whistles up. Reno Piscopo playing against a couple of his Ollie Roos teammates here tonight. Tom Glover was in that side. Berongay. Pretty crucial toe in there from Steinman, and Wellington passed it out nicely. Hooper's all the way back, and he has it taken off him. Berongay with a foul, I think, on Devlin, but the referee will allow play to go on because David Ball should be able to keep this one in, and does. Bit of a lone ranger at the moment, David Ball. Good tackle from Nathaniel Atkinson. Probably not a bad outcome for Wellington. They'll get the throw and the chance to get some numbers forward. Devere looking for Ball, who knew it was just a bit big for him. Misplaced pass, which Noon acknowledges the intent of, as well as Tom Glover, of course. Melbourne City players Connor Metcalf, who's on the bench here tonight, and Dennis Jonro and Rami Najarine were in that Ollie Roos squad, along with Reno Piscopo. They've qualified for the Tokyo Games. Cameron Devlin seems to be dropping a lot deeper than he normally does with Matty Steinman in the mix. It's normally Steinman who's the deeper of the two, but Devlin seems to find himself stationed a bit deeper quite often tonight. We'll see if that continues. Hudson Wihongi back to Davila.
I think the two centre-backs, Stephen Taylor, Luke Devere, are splitting much wider than normal, and that's creating a hole there for Cameron Devlin to just drop into, pick up the ball. It'll either be just another link in the chain as the ball goes across the back 4 or 5 players.
And certainly a 4-4-2 at the moment without the ball for Melbourne City, with Susaeta pushing up alongside McLaren. Luna coming into picture now. Noon up the top of the screen. Can they pass their way through it? Wellington, well, they might have been able to. Davila controlled that. It's all broken up, and here's Jamison. He gives it away to Steinman. Hooper, can he cash in? Davila, first time ball. Rebounds off Curtis Good, and it'll be a throw by the corner flag. Here's Devlin in that deep lying position we talked about. Taylor there with him, and they'll end up passing this all the way back, Wellington. Bit of pressure put on Luke Devere, but he once again calmly finds Piscopo. He in turn brings Kakachi in. ball as the willing recipient. Griffiths all the way with him. And it's good defending by Roston Griffiths. He's taken the ball off David Ball and managed to clear it up towards halfway. They might even make something out of this, but McLaren can't get on the end of it. Good work from De Vere, Steinman, Davila, Devlin, brings Hudson Weehongi in, first time pass. Well, the thumbs up from Hooper was for the intent. Unfortunately, the execution not quite what Te Arawhai Hudson Weehongi was after.
And it was a good attack from the Phoenix down the left, now through the centre via Ulysses Davila. Good ball from Devlin out to Hudson Weehongi. And everyone could see what he was trying to do. Just link up there with Gary Hooper. Again, good to see Hudson Weehongi so far forward, getting involved in the attacks.
He's not really a natural fullback, is he? But then again, Tim Payne perhaps wasn't either, and he's made a pretty good fist of the last dozen games there. Piscopo was fouled by Wellington.
Yeah, Hudson Weehongi, normally defensive midfielder or centre-back. So in pretty unusual territory for him out wide.
Yeah, he sat at the base of that Auckland City midfield for quite a few seasons, didn't he? Very effectively, as they became a team that was very, very hard to break down. This one's aimed for Kakachi. Can he get a lucky bounce off Atkinson? No, but he will earn a throw. No obvious options for Libby Kakachi at the moment. He's waiting for the arrival of a teammate, Piscopo. Clever feet. Berlante gets it away. Luna can't control. Stooped header from Devlin, and Wellington will recycle, and they'll get a free kick for I presume a high foot, was it? But he was stooping, so hard one to decipher there, but I presume that's what it's for.
Yeah, not sure about that one, because normally if you're stooping down, then that's you're the guy taking the risk.
He's not the tallest bloke either, is he, Cameron Devlin? So you don't have to get your foot up that high to get it near his stooping head. Regardless, it's a free kick for Wellington in a pretty good area for Piscopo to bend this one in. Delivery, as always, is key. Here is Piscopo, deflected into the area and popped into the back of the net by Matty Steinman. Flag stays down on the far side. VAR, no doubt, will have a check. But for the meantime, it's a first ever A-League goal and somewhat of a goal-mouth scramble for Matty Steinman.
And again, Melbourne City concede from a set play. Didn't pick up guys in the middle. There were a number of Phoenix players along the 6-yard box. I mean, it takes a deflection off the wall. That puts all the Phoenix players on side. And so the goal should stand here. But you can see there's 3 yellow shirts there that potentially could tap that ball home. So not great defending from this Melbourne City defence.
Melbourne City's players are demanding from Alex King what's going on. VAR have had a look. Here it is slowed down. Well, he's offside there, but the deflection, does that put them onside? VAR still deliberating. Another look.
Yeah, I think at the point that it hits the guy on the wall, then obviously that plays everyone on. But at the point at the point that the free kick is taken, I think Steinman's offside.
Yeah.
So I think this one may be chalked off.
So this one is going to be ruled out. The VAR has decided that this has touched Gary Hooper's leg, deflected into the path of Matty Steinman, and he is in an offside position. So no goal. Matty Steinman was an A-League goal scorer for about 3 or 4 minutes. He goes back to 0. So it's the touch off Gary Hooper that puts Matty Steinman offside. That's the decision of the VAR. So we remain goalless here at Eden Park.
But again, it shows how poor that Melbourne City defend set plays. And it could be those sort of opportunities where the Phoenix get their best chances. Corners, set free kicks in and around the penalty area. Because just the man marking from the City defence is not good.
Just had the graphic flash up there showing that this is a particularly dangerous time for Wellington. They've conceded more than a quarter of their goals in the 15 minutes before half-time. Don't concede too many in the first 30 minutes, only 4. But it's after the half-hour mark passes and before they go into the sheds that Wellington appear to be most vulnerable. Can Melbourne City take advantage? Jamison. Susaeta waiting behind Libby Kakachi. Wellington look to come again. Davila trying to get involved and bringing Kakachi in. Once again, the 2 Englishmen are ahead. That's not going to get past Jamison. Given away by De Vere, but they'll get it back through Steinman. Kakachi. David Ball peeling out again to the left and followed by Griffiths. Piscopo. So good in tight areas. Devlin trying to find Piscopo again. Eventually it's through to Ball. He has it taken off him by Brillante. Bit of late evening sunshine in the centre circle. Piscopo, nice ball to Ball. Really good block from Roston Griffiths. Geez, making a good fist of being a centre-back, isn't he, for a guy who's played most of his career in midfield. He's doing a pretty decent job for Eric Monbier in the centre of the defence. Here he is again, getting a vital interception. Looks at home there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. In a defence that sits very, very deep at times. Good breakout here from Melbourne City.
And it goes to Berongay. Jamison. It's over the top of Susaeta, and it'll roll harmlessly out for a Wellington throw.
Yeah, at times Melbourne City sit right deep onto their own penalty area, with the midfield collapsing almost on top of the back 4. And they seem quite comfortable just to hold their line in those sort of areas, try and kill all the space for the opposition. If Brillante just trying to block the passing lanes into the front players, and it's quite effective.
Here's Hooper. He isn't used to those situations and can't find ball with a pass. More used to being the point of the arrow, Gary Hooper, rather than the one running with the ball at feet. Brillante asking a bit much of Scott Jamieson. They have a wee discussion about it.
To feet, mate, to feet.
Just the 4 games in the A-League this weekend. Adelaide beating Central Coast last night 2-0. We're off to Bankwest after this for the Western Sydney Wanderers against the Newcastle Jets. As Susaeta looks to set up Jamie McLaren. Across goal. The angle was narrow, but Jamie McLaren is such an accomplished marksman. You don't want to give him any angle, really. The first time shot across goal was wide.
Yeah, not great from Kakaja here. Dwells on the ball. Susaeta nicks in, gets the ball, and not the sort of finish we expect from Jamie McLaren. Normally pounces on those, and you see them nestled in the net. Fortunately for the Phoenix, that didn't happen. But again, it shows how quickly that Melbourne City do push forward when they win the ball in the opposition defensive third. The next pass they play, they try and play forward. They don't try and secure the possession. They try and get the ball forward as quick as possible.
Just an example there of what you talked about before, Fred, with the ball bouncing. It's a skiddy bounce. It's dangerous for defenders.
Yep, certainly does. The combination, obviously, the watering of the pitch and the grass, type of grass here at Eden Park. This means the ball does fly off. Difficult for defenders to gauge that.
Nice touch there into the path of Piscopo. So he got a chance to run at Brillante. It's again those clever feet into the area. Good header away by Griffiths. Hudson Wihongi. Now ball. Hudson Wihongi again. City back in numbers now, so
you can see there how flat they are.
Yeah,
sit very, very deep, very flat. Just trying to kill all the space.
Move into space from De Vere. Piscopo is fouled. It's Luna through the back of Reno Piscopo. In fact, Susaeta committing the foul. This one's a bit further out than the one from which the ball ended up in the back of the net before it was ruled out. So slightly different angle on the cross this time from Reno Piscopo. Heavily populated penalty area, or the edge of. Towards the far post. Glover always had that covered. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half here at Eden Park. Chances a bit few and far between.
I do think that is the hallmark of the City side, though. They do score quite a lot of goals from few chances. When you watch the games, especially the game last week in the Melbourne derby, Melbourne's victory had probably the better chance, or more chances, but City took theirs. And I think that's testament to the quality. The man running through there, Jamie McLaren, doesn't need many chances to get on the score sheet. Phoenix have got the same sort of player in Gary Hooper.
Yeah, Hooper's got 4 goals from just 11 shots, which is the best conversion rate in the A-League up to this point.
Probably have the best goals per minute ratio as well. Given the amount of time that obviously he's spent a lot of time coming on as sub. So his minutes haven't been that high. But you can see the quality that he does possess in and around the penalty area.
Griffiths in on this one. Brillante. Susaita. Deflected cross. Calm defending by Luke De Vere. He chested it down, then poked it away. Attempted nutmeg there by Piscopo. Atkinson not buying it. Melbourne City do pretty well on the road. 16 goals and 8 away games this season. None to show for their efforts thus far. Devlin looking to get away from a couple of would-be tacklers. Looks up and sees Hudson Wihongi off on a run. Decides instead for Steinman. Nice ball into the path of Davila, is it? No, that's late from Davila. He's got to be a bit careful. Referee might come back on that one. In the meantime, City break through. Noon. Still going, Craig Noon. Wants to lift it over the Phoenix defence and chested down and wellied away by Stephen Taylor.
He's been very quiet, Noon, before the game, that given the fact that the Phoenix were going to have a new right back, that maybe this could be an opportunity for Noon to really flourish in the game.
I think we're going back here for a yellow card for Ulysses Davila. He was late on that challenge, and I think probably a deserved yellow card. It's just the second of the season for Ulysses Davila, but I think it's probably deserved.
Yeah, he's lifted his foot there. Now, the ball's just rolled away from him. He's gone in, sliding, and studs up. Okay, absolutely, that's a yellow card.
Once again, it's a misplaced pass. Can City profit? Inside the final 90 seconds in regulation time. We're told there'll be an extra 3 minimum added at the end of the first half. Because all that time, of course, we were waiting for the VAR to make up his mind. Here's Noon. Into the chest of Taylor. Help back into the area. Danger here with Luna on the ball. Can Jamison find a way out of this cul-de-sac? No, he can't, and Davila's doing some defending, which is not his hallmark, and now he's, well, he was trying to set ball and Hooper away. Glover was well aware of what was going on, and he was out well, Tom Glover, to snuff out any danger.
Terrific defensive work from Ulysses Davila. Got back, won the ball, and looked to get the Phoenix away on an attack. I think for both sides, just some of the quality of the passing has been very good, but at times also it's been rather pedestrian, and it's allowed the opposition to get in, just make tackles that you would think they wouldn't be able to make. So it's led to quite a lot of high turnover and possession.
There's the confirmation of the extra 3 minutes, which we're into now. The Phoenix start added time on the attack through Hudson Wihongi. Now ball. Good, shadows him all the way. Luke De Vere making the best of a bad pass there and earning the Phoenix a throw. It was about this time a week ago that they were hit by a double punch by Perth Glory just before half-time. Went in 2-0 down when it looked as though they'd done enough to go in goalless. Sure they would have talked about that and looked to learn from those mistakes. Right, Davila was pretty keen to get that one off Tiatapai Hudson-Wiongi. Strong header away from Curtis Good. This time Davila does get the ball from Hudson-Wiongi's throw, but Jamison's going to get his body in the way. 249 games of experience there. Scott Jamison. Only 12 members in the 250 club at the moment. Game 249 tonight for Jamison. Glenn Moss is also on 249 and Nigel Bogard 247, so those two Newcastle players might also join that club at some point in the next little while. One by Luna. Bounces over the top of Berongay, and he was fouled in the act of that, says the referee. So Melbourne City will end a half on attack. Or will they? Given away by Noon to David Ball. Quick checker to watch from Alex King. He'll decide that that's enough for the first half. We're goalless at the break at Eden Park. Wellington had the ball in the net through Matty Steinman, ruled out by the VAR. A couple of half chances for Jamie McLaren at the other end, but Stefan Marinovic remains unbreached in goal for Wellington. Tight tussle happening at the Garden of Eden. It's 0-0 at half-time between the Phoenix and Melbourne City. Let's go down to Harry Nada, who has Roston Griffiths alongside.
Well, Royston doing it quite comfortably at the moment. Unlucky not to get Jamie McLaren a couple of times in on goal.
Yeah, we knew they'd come out like that, especially with the wind in the first half. So we knew we'd have to sit a little bit deeper in defence and hopefully get them on the counter-attack. But the main objective was to get to half-time 0-0 and stay in the game, because sometimes if you go down to the Phoenix away from home, it can be an uphill battle.
The front three are working very hard and getting some good ball in that attacking third, just unable to convert it into chances on goal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the pitch is quick as well. It's we're a bit rusty. Got off the plane and didn't really have any time to adapt. So hopefully that's the first half, sort of get the rubbish out of the legs, and the second half it'll be a little bit better.
Thanks for your time, Woodall, for the second half.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Well, stay with us after this. We'll be back with all the first half action as we cover the highlights with Rafael de Gregorio, Narelle Sindos and myself. It's 0-0 here at Eden Park between the Wellington Phoenix and Melbourne City.
It's not too late to apply to study at Te Henanea Victoria University of Wellington in 2020. There are many full-time and part-time opportunities for you to earn a qualification at New Zealand's
After 45 minutes of action here at Eden Park, no one has been able to break the deadlock. Wellington Phoenix 0, Melbourne City 0 at half-time, although both sides have had their fair share of chances, but no one able to find that clinical touch. And Raph, you mentioned to me when we were walking down here that both sides are playing similar styles of football.
Yeah, look, I think they're both quite structured. Defensively happy to sit deep and enable the other team to have a lot of position where it's not really threatening along the back four. Look to pick up pieces, work off mistakes, and be offensive from there. So to almost be an attacking team without the ball, you know, and work off mistakes. And I think the Phoenix have made more mistakes than Melbourne City. I think Melbourne City at the moment quite comfortable, Harry, no?
Yeah, I think so. I think Royston Griffiths touched on it, you know, that came into the game later, or into Auckland a bit later. They're a bit rusty, but look, I think they've looked probably the more competent side, more comfortable side. For me, the Phoenix have given away far too much ball, particularly out of the back third, which is uncharacteristic. Luke De Vere, Matty Steinman, I think it's been rather disjointed at times.
Well, let's have a look at the action from the first half, and as we mentioned, both teams have been close. The Phoenix had one disallowed by VAR, but the Phoenix, as you said, giving possession away too easily.
Sloppy goal kick there, and McLaren here, you know, unable to get a goal, and a good save by Marinovic in the end. But like Harry, what you touched on, just sloppy mistakes. But I think it's also a case of them having so much possession, so much time, not used to that possibly. You know, here's the Phoenix with a lovely ball forward by Ulysses De Villa. Ball does everything right, but not get enough contact on that finish.
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic ball by De Vere. Unlocked the defence there. Great touch by Ball and just didn't get enough on. I mean, Royston Griffiths for me has probably been the standout player in the first half. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, he's been very good, especially for a midfield who's playing deep in the defence. He's been outstanding for them.
And this is the Libby Kikachi. I think this was a cross. You might have thought it was a cross. Shot on goal, but untroubled Glover. But look, their intricate passing at times has been really good. This is McLaren playing off the shoulder of Kikachi at this time, and likewise with Luke De Vere on the other side. I think Melbourne City, for me, have probably deserved to be, get a lot more out of the game that they have at the moment, considering they turned the ball over from the Phoenix in that attacking third.
Here it was, the VAR goal that was disallowed. It would have been Matty Steinman's first ever goal in the A-League, but the referee deemed that Gary Hooper had the touch first, which would then put Matty Steinman offside.
Yeah, and obviously they must have looked at it a few times because it was such a tight one. And obviously for them, offside, there's nothing much we can do about it. Steinman, unfortunately, in his time in his run, just a little bit too far ahead.
Well, let's break down the numbers, shall we, from the opening 45 minutes. And the Wellington Phoenix enduring the majority of the possession, which has really been the same story from their season so far, but again, nothing to show for it.
The key fact there, if you look, 58% territory for Melbourne City, even with 37% possession, it shows that they're doing the right things with the ball.
Well, look at shots on target as well. I mean, Gary Hooper getting back into the starting lineup. Do you think maybe Tale is maybe regretting that decision at the moment, or is it too early to tell?
I don't think so, Narelle. I think it's too early, but I do think what Raph and I just touched on before, perhaps because Melbourne City are playing such a pressing at times, I think Luna, McLaren are doing such a good job in forcing the Phoenix into some wayward passing, that perhaps it's time for the Phoenix to maybe look a bit more direct and sort of bypass that midfield. You can mix it up. I think you can become predictable. I think when Hooper has tussled with Royston Griffiths, it's been quite a good battle and good competition, and that's the type of game that Gary Hooper likes, that physical confrontation, using his body. I think perhaps it's time maybe just to look at another option.
I think the Phoenix, for me, though they've been good in position at times, they've been a bit ineffective when they have a position for a long period of time, because this Melbourne City side, they just sit further and further deep. That block of 4 and 4, that defensive 8, it's just hard to break down. There's no space for Ulysses De Villa. I think, like Harry says, if you occasionally go forward and direct, you give them two things to think about now. They're going to play short, or they're going to play this over the top, and it makes it more complicated for the defending.
Well, one thing that we were expecting, of course, was goals, and of course with Melbourne City's attacking flair, that was sure to be a given, but Stephen Taylor has done an excellent job at leading by example to make that not happen yet. But do you think the back four have been shaky?
Oh, look, I think, look, when they have had ball at feet, I think at times they have been probably a little bit, a little bit lazy or a little bit disjointed. But look, I think Stephen Taylor's, he's done well at the moment. I think McLaren's sort of been under control to a couple of times. But I think it's their possession football out from the back. I think they need to improve.
Well, Stephen Taylor, though, showing that he's still very comfortable in that final third.
His positions have been spot on.
Yeah.
I think what Harry's been saying is some of the passing is a bit sloppy. Not necessarily Taylor in particular, maybe De Vere a little bit more today and Marinovic in goal. But I think Taylor's been their standout. His position's very good. His passing is very clean and crisp.
Well, someone, though, who we were kind of building up to be one of the stars this evening was Craig Noon, and you have to say he's been kept relatively quiet by his standards.
Oh, I think he has been. I think that's credit to the way the Phoenix have set up. I think on the left-hand side, Sialafai Hudson-Wihongi hasn't had a lot to do. Craig Noon has been forward on occasional times, a couple of crosses in, but look, I think he's one player that's is already given examples of his talent. Scored a couple last week against Melbourne Victory, 4 goals this season. So is a player that the Phoenix will have to watch out for the second half.
Yeah, big second 45 coming up from Eden Park. So the big question is, though, will the Wellington Phoenix find that winning formula, or will Melbourne City be taking the points back across the ditch? Stay with us to find out.
Okay, what's your name? Okay, Alex, you got 15 to beat, all right? The last 10 seconds are double points, all right? Okay, Alex, in a part, let's help Alex get it down. 3, 2, 1. Oh, hello. We mean business. There is one. From the spot. He's got one. Oh, no, he's got his wide. He's got 2. This guy means business. The lefty. Oh, just wide. Oh. All right, come on. How many's that? I've lost count. 3, 4. Almost. 3, 4. Come on, Alex. 5. He's got 5. He's got 15 to beat. Top ends. He's got 5. He's got 6. Get those balls over then. 6, 7, 8. double points. 8, 9, 10. Off the bar. He's got 10. Double points. 10. Next size of time. 11, 12. She's done it. 16. That's it. Come over here, young fella. Congratulations. Well done. How does that feel? Pretty good. Ian's won a signed goalkeeper's jersey. Now, have we got time? Just a little 30 seconds. If we got 30 seconds, Laura Daniel, back up here, please. Joshua Moore in the goal. Josh Moore in the goal, please. All right. Come on. Yeah, we're going to get Josh now. Josh is going to go and goal. Come on. One for glory. Last one for glory. Laura Daniel against Joseph Moore. For the win. Get it past your boyfriend. Here we go, Laura.
The Wellington Phoenix had the ball in the back of the net in the first half. Thought they'd taken the lead, but ruled out by the VAR. There's the touch off Hooper there. We missed it the first time, Fred. It was a very slight touch, but enough to deny the Phoenix a 1-0 lead.
Well, you've got to say, good officiating from the VAR in that instance. Well spotted, because didn't notice the touch off Gary Hooper. as the Phoenix players come out onto Eden Park again for the second half. And a half, I think, where they'll be playing into the wind. We heard from Royston Griffiths just before half-time. They were happy to go in 0-0 at the break. And I think will we see a more adventurous Melbourne City side in the second 45 minutes.
There have only ever been 2 goalless draws between these two in 29 previous meetings. They both happened in the 2014-15 season. Let's go down to Harry Nada with Ufuk Talay.
Ufuk, what was said at half-time? What did you make of the first half, mate?
Yeah, I think we had control of the game in the first half. For me, I wasn't happy with the ball speed. I think we need to move the ball a little bit quicker, and I think there was times where we forced some passes, but overall pleased with the performance so far in the first half.
What do you want to see in the second half?
Yeah, for me it was the opportunities for us when they did squeeze a line. There was spacing behind to make forward runs, so we asked our 9s and our 10s to make forward runs, and opportunities when we can, sometimes the game gives us different things, and for me there's spacing behind to exploit.
All the best for the second half, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Fairly calm Ufuk Talay at half-time. He's got a bit of a raspy voice, obviously been yelling instructions as per from the edge of his technical area. Just about set for a start in the second half. Ulysses Davila and Cameron Devlin discussing things. Alex King about to get us underway. Here we go in the second half. Goalless at the break. Melbourne City looking to win on this side of the ditch for the first time in 4 visits. And the Phoenix haven't lost at home since round 3. 5 wins and a draw in home games since then. It was a coming together of a couple of players, Luna and Devlin, that's caused the brief stoppage here. Just a knock on the knee by the looks of it for Cameron Devlin. He's back up and into it. Has to be a little bit careful, not that he was in the wrong there, of course, but Cameron Devlin is currently sitting on 4 yellow cards. Another one would earn him a mandatory 1-game ban. A couple of Melbourne City players are in the same boat, one of them being Royston Griffiths, the other Nathaniel Atkinson.
It's interesting at the moment, Piney, looking at the stats from the for the match so far. Phoenix have made exactly double the amount of passes that Melbourne City have, 338 to 169, or attempted passes. But when you look at the possession and where that possession is, it's Melbourne City with more of the attacking impetus.
Given away, and the shot from Luna. Well, Stefan Marinovic has done that a couple of times tonight now. Adrian Luna unable to capitalise on it, but it was all a bit messy at the back. Stephen Taylor, first of all, let the ball go, thinking it had enough on it to get through to Marinovic.
Yeah, not
Devere
good.
played it back to him, and then this wasn't a great pass.
Poor ball from Marinovic. Allows the shooting opportunity. Possibly that had to be hit first time. I mean, it's a difficult skill, but risk and reward. The goal was empty. Marinovic was out of it. But even just taking that one touch allowed Marinovic to make up about 10 metres and probably would have executed a save had the ball been on target. Yeah, just going back possession-wise, Phoenix have had 62% of the possession, but most of that has been in their own half, because Melbourne City have had basically 60% of the possession in the opposition half.
Here's Noon, good save by Marinovic. Good strong hands from the All Whites goalkeeper as Craig Noon lined one up from distance. Marinovic looking to set Hooper away, but Glover at the other end is again out quickly. Made good contact with that Craig Noon on his favoured left foot. Here comes Glover again. He won't be needed this time though. Curtis Good has this one under control.
I think already in the second half we can see what Ufuk Talay was talking about with Harry just after the half-time break. Straight away, David Ball, Gary Hooper trying to run in behind this defensive line.
was a first-time effort from Libby Kakachi. If that goes in, he probably says, I'm shooting. I think he's just putting that one back in the area, isn't he? Here's the save from Marinovic.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's looking for one of his strikers in the penalty area, Libby Kakachi, as we see that good save from Stefan Marinovic. Here's the Kakachi one.
Good quick ball from Brillante forward to Berongay. Now Noon again. The cross is good, the head is good, but it's straight at Marinovic. Adrian Luna again, the man on the end of it. Arrived in the penalty area at just the right moment, got on the end of the cross, straight at Marinovic.
And a good example of how Melbourne City attacked very quickly. Brillante got the ball straight away, looked to pass forward and wide. And then you had players streaming into the penalty area.
Given away again, this time it's Susaeta with the shot once again. Straight at the goalkeeper, and clap of the hands of frustration there from Markel Susaeta. It's back in the game though and making things difficult for Libby Kakachi. Kakachi does get it away, and that's actually pretty good work from the Wellington Phoenix to get themselves out of that, or was until that happened. Berongay, Florent Berongay, Jamison into Hudson Wihongi, and behind you could hear Scott Jamison calling Noon out, saying that's mine. Got it on his left foot, straight into Hudson Wihongi and behind for a corner.
Yeah, Melbourne City looking very threatening at the moment. Jamison coming forward, deflects off Hudson Wihongi out for the corner. Had that been a slightly less of a deflection, that could have ended up in the back of the net. Stefan Marinovic was heading out towards his left-hand post.
Short corner taken, it doesn't come off for Melbourne City, unfortunately, with Devlin making a nuisance of himself. Jamison scampers back and gets things going again. Glover. A little bit shaky from Tom Glover there. Piscopo will look to run at Atkinson. Kakachi looking to free up Piscopo. Ball and Hooper up with him. He takes on Brillante. Josh Brillante stuck with him at the expense of a corner.
And for me, that's better from Piscopo. He gets in these sort of areas a lot. And on a number of occasions in the first half, checks back and just keeps possession. I think he's got to be more positive, exactly what he did there. Win the corner. We know City are poor at corners, so give yourself an opportunity here.
6 to aim at in the area for Reno Piscopo, and ball on the edge. Deliveries not bad. De Vere got the head on it. Away by Atkinson. Only as far as Devlin, who will look to bring Piscopo in again. Instead it's Davila who shoulders it out to Piscopo, probably inadvertently, but Wellington hold the ball. And Piscopo's cross too close to Glover. It's a good release from Glover.
That's a great ball.
It really is for Jamie McLaren. De Vere is with him, needs to hold him up, and does. Pokes it behind for a corner. But that is great distribution from Tom Glover.
Yeah, wonderful side volley from Glover. Ended up being like a 70-metre pass. This was the end result. Jamie McLaren one-on-one with De Vere. And De Vere just holds his space. Again.
Well, they try the short one again, Susaeta and Noon. They do. Slightly different variation on it, though. Noon checks back in. Can't get across away. They'll have another go. This time Susaeta is going to deliver into a crowded area. Good header away by Kakachi. Luna looking to recycle. Brillante. And Kakachi's going to get his body in the way, or is he? Good from Luna. Danger here for Wellington. Hooper's back defending and hacked away by Kakachi for another corner. Adrian Luna, he's been good, the Uruguayan. Wellington Phoenix subs are off to warm up behind the goal that they're defending. Brandon Wilson's been there by himself for a while, so wouldn't be a surprise to see Brandon Wilson introduced at some point. In the meantime, Noon with the corner. All the way through to Berongay. Good save by Marinovic. Narrow angle for Berongay, but he fashioned a shot which Marinovic had to keep out.
Lovely touch this first time from Berongay. Just pulls it across his body there onto his left foot. Opens up the shooting angle, but Marinovic gets his angles exactly right. Out for another corner.
They're banging on the door. Flying double punch from Stefan Marinovic. Brillante is across. Atkinson. That's a good ball. Steinman got it away comfortably. Still there though for Melbourne City. And they're going to come back for a free kick, are they? Or
I think it was a foul on Kakache. Just as that ball was bouncing around, one of the Melbourne City players jumps into, there it is, jumps into Libby Kakache. That's what the foul was for.
Yeah, Curtis Good, the culprit. Melbourne City's subs are also warming up behind their goal. Eric Mombert has a few different options at his disposal, as does Ufuk Talay. In an attacking sense.
Not many defenders for the Phoenix.
No, but in an attacking sense, he could employ the likes of Josh Soterio, Brandon Wilson, Callum McCowart, Ben Wayne. For Mombert, he's got the likes of Jean Rowe, Wales, Najar and Metcalf to call on. Crowd waiting expectantly for what this game really needs, which is a goal. Nice pass from Davila on to Hudson Wihongi. He tried to poke it into the path of ball. Brillante in the way. Hudson Wihongi now, though, still can't find a teammate to identify Hudson Wihongi, and now we have to sprint back to prevent a counter-attack. Jameson. Put it up by De Vere. Noon. Melbourne City just quite happy to sit back and let the Phoenix clock up a few more passes. They can't be hurt in that area. I think we're about to see the introduction of Brandon Wilson for Wellington. Devlin looking to spark something. Gary Hooper's off on a run. Good in hot pursuit. Here's Hooper. Good cross back and a good goal too by David Ball. Well, Gary Hooper said, give me a start and I'll score you a goal. Instead, he set one up for his countryman. David Ball makes it 1-0.
As you say, Piney, just what the game needed. Great run from Gary Hooper. Lovely ball down the line. And the cross was inch perfect. We know David Ball works incredibly hard, but he made some ground to get into the penalty area. And it was a lovely, strong side foot finish. Terrific ball from Cameron Devlin. And here, the angle for Ball on the penalty spot. Gets good connection on it. Keeper no chance. Lovely counter-attack from the Phoenix.
That's a really good pass from Gary Hooper. Running at pace, only ball in the area to aim at. Put it on a plate for him. 4 goals this season to go with 4 assists for David Ball. And Wellington go 1-0 up. The English strike combination bears fruit. And I wonder whether Brandon Wilson might now not be introduced after the game has changed in that fashion. Still plenty of time. Well over half an hour to go here at Eden Park. The Phoenix have gone ahead for the 9th time this season, 1-0. They've lost just one of the previous 8 in which they've gone 1-0 ahead. Melbourne City, though, have conceded first 7 times. On the previous 6, they've pulled back the deficit to win or draw 3 times. So they are certainly well capable of coming from behind to earn themselves a share or all of the points. It was such an unfamiliar sight, wasn't it? Gary Hooper running like a winger.
Yeah, normally he stays in the middle. But this time the way the play developed, he was the guy that ended up in a wider position down the line. But again, it speaks to what Ufuk-Talay was saying just after the break. They need more players, especially the front players, 9 and 10, getting forward and getting in behind the defence. That's exactly what happened for the goal. Hooper in behind the defence, and then the support play in the middle. And you're right, Brandon Wilson has gone back to warm up with the other subs. So unfortunately for him, the goal has changed the substitution for the Wellington Phoenix.
Obviously, from a team point of view, he'll be happy about that. Maybe not so much from a personal point of view. Thought he might have half an hour running around on Eden Park. It'll be very interesting to see, actually, who he was going to replace. We're going to get the crowd handed to us at some point in the next little while. We're being told it's north of 15,000. Well done, Auckland. That's a really good turnout here at Eden Park tonight. There we go, 15,347 to be precise. Really good crowd. Almost double that turned up against Western Sydney before Christmas. Good slick passing by Wellington. Davila looking to bring Hudson Wihongi in. His ball in is good, and it eluded the first defender, Curtis Good. Ran across the front of Roston Griffiths, and Gary Hooper couldn't get himself in the right position to get a touch on it.
Again, Hudson Wihongi gets forward. This is good work from him. I think in the first half, a couple of times in these sort of positions, he stopped, turned back to maintain possession. But I think with a guy like Gary Hooper in front, or up front, it's exactly what you want to do. You want to whip the ball in. We saw Tim Payne do that against Perth. Whips in a terrific cross. Hooper's on the end of it for a header.
Wellington looking to make Melbourne City vulnerable at another corner. Piscopo delivers. Taylor's there, climbing all over the back of Roston Griffiths, and I think Stephen Taylor knew that once he jumped on the back of Griffiths, the whistle was going to go. Here is the change, and it's going to be Tiarafai Hudson Wihongi who makes way for Brandon Wilson. So presumably that is a change at right back. Tiarafai Hudson Wihongi makes his way off. He's made a pretty good fist of his starting debut. Gets a low 5 from Ufuk-Talay. I'm not sure he's that enamoured with the decision. No player wants to come off, of course. If he picked up a knock of some sort, maybe that's the reason for the look on his face. So Brandon Wilson into the game. Just his second appearance for the Wellington Phoenix. Does pretty well against Melbourne City, does Brandon Wilson. 5 games against them before tonight, and unbeaten. 4 wins and a draw. keeping an eye on the Melbourne City bench as well to see if there's any change coming there. Lovely ball to Kikachi. Piscopo. Devlin. Steinman into Piscopo. Just probing for an opening Wellington. Piscopo looking for ball. Griffiths lets it run past him and then scrambles it away only as far as the new man, Brandon Wilson. Davila onto that favourite left foot, can't get a shot away. Now he can. Tom Glover with the soft hands. No problem for Melbourne City's custodian.
And again, in that phase of play, just watching Gary Hooper, he wanted a cross. He wanted Libby Kikachi just to whip the ball in because he'd got in a really good position behind one of the centre-backs. And if the cross had been on target, then he would have been in.
Marina Piscopo's gone down clutching his face here. Bit of attention needed.
Piscopo comes in with Susaeta.
Well, it's not his face, is it?
It's not his face. It's more like his stomach. Susaeta coming through here. He's twisted his ankle. His left ankle just twisted underneath him. Reno Piscopo.
Well, a couple of options as a replacement if one is needed. Callum McCowart could be brought in. Similarly, Josh Soterio. I think we're going to get the symbol for a change. There you have it. So a second substitution in quick succession. Reno Piscopo with an 80% pass completion rate tonight. He's been good. And looks like it's Callum McCowart. Indeed it is, who will enter the fray. He, of course, has spent some time in this part of the country as well as part of the eastern suburbs side. This doesn't look good for Reno Piscopo, although at least it's not a stretcher. But he is walking very gingerly on that left foot.
Here's the goal again. See the ball down the line from Devlin. Hooper does really well, cuts inside, and then just lays it on a plate for David Ball. Great finish from Ball. Kept his head down, kept the ball down. Didn't give the keeper any chance with that one.
Got a change coming for Melbourne City as well, with Lachlan Wales with his 9th appearance off the bench this season and 17th game overall. He'll take the place of Florin Berengay, who wasn't able to recreate his derby heroics from last week. As Reno Piscopo off to the side as Callum McCowart makes his way on. So McCowart on for Piscopo, Wales into the game for Berengay. McLaren is looking for Wales to perhaps set him up for a sensational entrance there. Kikachi looking for the run of Ball, the goal scorer. Looking this time for the man who supplied it, Gary Hooper. They spend a lot of time together, David Ball and Gary Hooper. Both Englishmen, of course, their families get on well. They're often seen together having coffee in one of Wellington's inner city establishments. And they cooked up a goal which has Wellington ahead as we enter the final quarter at Eden Park. Piscopo in the background there being helped off. That doesn't look great for Reno Piscopo. We'll keep an ear out to see if we can get some sort of confirmation of the severity of it. Here's McCowart. Early cross in. That one perhaps drifted closer to the goalkeeper than he had intended. Cameron Devlin still in the thick of things there. Melbourne City making a bit of progress. is Noon. Melbourne City aren't short of goal-scoring options. They may have Jamie McLaren as their main source of goals, but they've had more goal scorers than any other team in the A-League this season. 12 different players have scored goals for Melbourne City, and now they've got a free kick in a very dangerous area, but Jamie McLaren has gone down with what is hopefully not as serious an injury as Piscopo. It doesn't look as though it will be, just a knock for McLaren, who gets back to his feet. Just a bit of concern about Jamie McLaren there. He's back down on his haunches, but hopefully something he can just run off. So Luna looks most likely. Jamison is there as well. I think it's going to be Luna. There is Adrian Luna, and punched away by Marinovic. Danger not away though, shot from good, up and over. Well, that's clearly swerving and swirling in the air because Marinovic didn't feel comfortable catching it.
He gets a good strike on this one. Marinovic going one way, and the ball swerved away from him, had to parry it, and could only parry it up in the air. At least that gave his defenders a bit of time to get back. It's a good free kick from Adrian Luna. Unfortunately for Melbourne City, the final volley wasn't of the same quality.
McCowett keen to get involved in the action. And he passed the ball to Steinman. It was a bit short, and the German ended up committing a foul. 20 minutes for Wellington to close this one out. Plenty of time for Melbourne City to get something from their visit to Auckland. A win by this margin would take Wellington to 27 points, but they would have the same goal difference as Adelaide United, who are also on 27. However, Adelaide have scored more goals, so Wellington would stay fifth with a one-goal winning margin. But they would move 5 points clear of Brisbane in sixth. Here's Hooper through, Glover out. And flag up from Mark Rule on this near side. Wouldn't have counted. Hooper offside. Here's Noon looking to assert some authority. Haven't seen as much of Susaeta in the second half. Maybe he's the man to unlock Wellington's defence for Melbourne City. Clever from Noon down the line, looking for that man Susaeta. What's he got? Ball into the area, it's a good one too, and evades everybody. No touch of anyone. Lockie Wales was there or thereabouts. Behind it goes for a goal kick. Susaeta, well, I just said he's hardly been involved, and there he goes. Look at that for a ball.
Yeah, lovely cross. It was almost like Lockie Wales overran it, thinking it was going to bend a bit more than it did. Good ball from Susaeta. Needs to get more involved in the game, though.
Second sub coming for Melbourne City. It's the youngster, the 19-year-old striker, Stefan Kolikovski, who takes the place of Craig Noon. Just a fifth A-League appearance for Kolikovski.
And I think from the substitutes, Eric Bombert is really looking for some enthusiasm. I think the passing, he won't be happy with the way the passing is, but has been this evening. But I think what is really lacking is just a general enthusiasm to play, enthusiasm to get on the ball. And I think that's what he's looking for from Lockie Wales and Stefan Kolikovski.
So just the one substitute left for each of these two sides now. Kakachi off on one of those trademark runs of his. Ball given away though. And Callum McCallott's back cleaning up. De Vere looking for David Ball. Atkinson in the way. Gary Hooper still running shuttles even this late in the game. He knows he's probably going to have to keep doing that with only one sub left. He'll probably be hoping that it's him. But then again, strikers love being out there when space starts to open up late in games.
Well, he said he doesn't want to be a sub.
Yeah, he said doesn't want to spend time on the bench. Well, stay on then, mate. Susaeta looks up, sees Kolakowski out left and gives the youngster his first chance for involvement. Brillante. Kolakowski again. And Susaeta doing his best work out left. Jamison. Kolakowski. Well, it was a shot, I think. Down ball still bouncing around. Turned out being not a bad pass from Kolakowski, but the Phoenix clear the danger okay. Hooper uses that strength of his to hold the ball up, and referee Alex King says you can play on. Wilson was looking for Hooper for a pass, who didn't want a bar of it. I'll go out the other way.
It was a good move from Melbourne City. Unfortunately, the shot at the end of it from Kolakowski was well off target. Again, the build-up for City, very patient, but rather slow, and that allows the Phoenix to get back in numbers. And then it's very difficult to break them down.
McCowan is urged to pass to Kakachi by most of the crowd here. He does. Here's Kakachi, goes inside Atkinson. Sets up Callum McCowan. He was just looking to pull the trigger, but then at the last moment tried to play the little pass to David Ball. Didn't come off.
I actually think he was trying to just check back onto his left foot, sell a dummy to the defender, and then hit it with his left. He's miscontrolled it and just dribbled forward.
Into the final 15 minutes in Auckland. The Phoenix have never lost at Eden Park. They've only once lost in Auckland in 11 previous visits. But when they win, they never win by very much at Eden Park. The 3 wins have been by a goal.
Record like that, Piney, you'd think they'd relocate.
Send all complaints to Fred directly. Final change coming for Melbourne City. Moody Najjar is ready to make his entrance. Another youngster, another teenager. So Mombert will introduce Kolakowski. Najjar in Wales. 3 of his younger brigade to try and get the business done for his side. Here's Kolakowski linking with Susaeta. Ball forward though was misdirected. Davila might have used an arm there, did he? Kolakowski wasn't waiting around. Helps it forward towards McLaren. Here's Jamie McLaren aiming for the run in the middle there of Lachie Wales. Taylor in the way.
And Taylor's positioning this evening has been very good. Hasn't been drawn into wide areas too much. Stayed centrally. And in those situations has been in a good spot just to block the pass or stop the attack.
Here's that change. It's Susaeta, Markel Susaeta. We've enjoyed watching him for the first time in New Zealand. He makes way for Moody Najjar. 5th A-League appearance for Moody Najjar, and 3 of them have been against Wellington. Here comes Lachie Wales. Headed away by De Vere. Davila gets a good hit on it. Brillante battling back. Atkinson helps it back in. Flicked on, and it was McLaren with the final touch. Marinovic all the way out. Just reminding you, we're off to Bankwest Stadium following the completion of this game for the second in our doubleheader. Western Sydney Wanderers and Newcastle Jets set to do battle. Tomorrow it's a mid-table clash with all sorts of spice between Western United and Brisbane Roar at Mars Stadium. Kakachi. That gets the pulses of the crowd racing. He tries to go past Wales. Here's Kakachi. Can't get it away from Atkinson, puts an arm on him. And as Atkinson brings it away. Rather awkward fall there from Kakachi, and they're going to come back for, that'll be a throw, will it? Yeah, that went out off Atkinson, so it'll be a Wellington Phoenix throw.
And a couple of the last attacks, we see the ball just go out here. It should have been a Melbourne City throw, but in the last couple of attacks for the Wellington Phoenix, done really well with starting from the right defensive side, so in the right back position, playing into the midfield, turning, and especially through Callum McCowart, him opening out and playing wide for Kakachi down the left flank. And that's allowed them to get in behind this Melbourne City defence, but unfortunately for the Phoenix, nothing's come of that.
Well, if you're not keen on seeing the best part of 15,000 people with their shirts off, I would advise you to look away now, because that is exactly what is about to happen. 80 minutes gone at Eden Park. Wellington lead 1-0. The tradition, which stretches all the way back to their first season, continues. Heavily populated yellow fever zone on the far side is in a rather impressive state of undress. McCowart again looking for Kakachi, too much on it from Callum McCowart. And when I say impressive, it's a very wide definition of the word.
We're talking numerical rather than
aesthetic. Nice little turn from ball. Hooper's off on a run. Here's Davila. A second goal now for Wellington would be priceless. Devlin hits the deck. Wellington retain it. Devlin stays down. That's a worry for Wellington. Alex Rufer might want to start warming up. Devlin is still on his back. And Wellington might want to put this one out, although they don't seem that keen on doing it. Davila lifts it forward, looking for ball. And now the referee will decide to stop play, because Cameron Devlin hasn't moved very far from where he went down in that part of the pitch. He's holding the back of his right calf there. It was here at Eden Park, actually, that Cameron Devlin got his big break, because it was here that he replaced Alex Rufer, who went off injured against the Western Sydney Wanderers, and he has played every game since, Cameron Devlin, earning pretty much rave reviews every time he's played. There is Alex Rufer, who might return the favour for the last 8 minutes plus stoppages. Devlin looks pretty keen to continue, whether he'll be able to. A bit of a magic spray. Devlin keen to continue by the looks of it. Just limping a bit on that right ankle, or part of his right foot. There is Reno Piscopo, who is on ice. Let's hope it's not a bad one for Reno Piscopo. Play underway again with a drop ball. 7 minutes plus, I'm sure, at least another 4 or 5 for Melbourne City to find an equaliser.
And what a result this would be for the Phoenix if they can hold on.
Kolikovsky couldn't thread it through the legs of Brandon Wilson.
All the questions leading into this little run of games was how they would go against the likes of Sydney, against Melbourne City, against Perth Glory. They're certainly answering those questions here this evening.
Wilson's going to try and stop that one going out for a corner, does it successfully. Yeah, Wellington are back home in their actual home, Sky Stadium, Friday night against Western United. Plenty of spice in that one as well, no doubt. For Melbourne City, they have the bye next weekend. They next play Brisbane on the 1st of March. They'll remain in second place on the table regardless, Melbourne City, because Perth Glory don't have a game this weekend. They're one of 3 sides with the bye. Kolakovsky with Wilson, touch tight. Kolakovsky delivers. Taylor goes to ground, still not cleared. De Vere gets it away. McLaren hairs after it. He might just let that go behind for a corner. Has done. All hands on deck for Wellington in their penalty area. Wales on set-piece duty. Once again, delivery's good. Steinman away this time. Nobody upfield for Wellington to get a foot on it. Helped back in by Wales. Scrambling back, Marinovic. And just for a second, there was a sharp intake of breath around the ground as Lachie Wales let go of that one. We're going to see the final substitution for Wellington.
Yeah, Lachie Wales, not sure if he thought that Stefan Marinovic was far enough off his line to lift that one over his head. But yeah, in the end, there was no real drama for the Phoenix keeper, Cameron Devlin. Another energetic performance from him. And that's a straight swap in midfield with Alex Rufer.
58th A-League appearance tonight for Alex Rufer. That injury here in round 8 kept him out for 7 games. It's the reverse of what happened against the Wanderers before Christmas. 4 minutes plus stoppages remaining. City throwing everything forward. McLaren still might be the key for them.
Yeah, but pretty much all evening, McLaren's been well shepherded by Luke De Vere and Stephen Taylor. And I think it's playing right into the Phoenix's hands if Melbourne City start to look long over the top. They're not a very big team, so keeping the ball on the ground would probably be more suited to their style of football and their personnel.
Here's Wales again, he drifts one in. This time it is at a very comfortable height for Stefan Marinovic. Not too many clean sheets for Wellington this season, just the 2 before tonight. Gary Hooper's going to have to play the whole 90. Only the second time he would have done that this season. Kolakovsky, full of running. Moody Najjar, equally willing to stretch his legs. Kolakovsky. And that's off the Melbourne City man last for a Phoenix goal kick. Well, there's certainly no lack of endeavour and energy from the likes of Wales and Kolakovsky and Moody Najjar. That's what you want from your subs, don't you? You put them on for just that reason.
Exactly. They've been lively, just probably lacking that little bit of quality, but that comes in future years probably. But right now, it's like get on the ball, take people on, try and make something happen. Kicking hasn't been flashed this evening. Stefan Marinovic. That's another one out over the sideline.
Time the enemy now for Melbourne City. Long from Marinovic. Back from Good. Taylor with interest heads it back. Bit of head tennis in the middle of Eden Park. Here's McCallum trying to get away from Atkinson, who gets the better of him. And now looks to break forward and set up an attack. Really good from Nathaniel Atkinson, linking with Wales. Now Moody Najjar. Can he set one up for McLaren? Drops it back. There's Luna. Now Jamison. Wales. Straight into the arms of Marinovic. It's nearly, but not quite, for Melbourne City. And we're into the final minute, just about.
Yeah, it's the final ball that they're lacking. Good position, couple of times in that move. But that final pass, the final header from Lachie Wales, not finding a white shirt.
That's great from Rufa, setting ball away. Now, can he soak up some seconds here in the corner with Curtis Good? I think he might have won a corner, has he? He has. Well, that's fairly Herculean stuff from a guy who doesn't play 90 minutes very often, Gary Hooper, and is struggling for fitness. He's sucking in the big ones, but he's done a job for his team there.
Terrific battling from Hooper. I'm sure the Phoenix will just play this one short, keep it in the corner.
That's exactly what they've done, but it's found its way to Davila. He keeps going. Nobody seems to want to clear it for Melbourne City. They scramble it away, and Luna's put it back over the far side where McCallum's waiting. Can't bring it down, and Brillante takes it off him. Rufa doing good work in the Phoenix midfield. 5 extra minutes to be added. Plenty of time for City. Pumped forward by Glover. Wilson with the header. Phoenix players just take a few seconds to catch their breath as they prepare for the final onslaught. Najjar is over there, finds Wales. Atkinson's all the way forward. Good skill from Nathaniel Atkinson, but he hasn't managed to retain the football. Hooper has, and he now finds McCallum. He's urged to run forward by the crowd, but I think Ufuk Talay would probably prefer that Callum McCallum went into the corner. Brillante goes all the way with him. A bit of keep ball from Wellington. Here's Kakachi. Given away by Libby Kakachi, and a chance for Melbourne City to respond. Here's Najjar. His heels are clipped by, or De Veer's heels are clipped by Moody Najjar.
Yeah, done by Najjar. Shouldn't have taken Luke De Veer on there. Just was giving him too many metres. Needed to do something better, a better move. And then added to that, he goes and trips him up. Just waste another 30 seconds or so.
Here comes City again. Najjar this time can't get it past De Veer again. Ball, Steinman. Kakachi goes long looking for David Ball, who flicks it on for Hooper. Hooper and Good. All that experience from Gary Hooper. And is that a foul through the back of David Ball? The referee was in close attendance and said no. Melbourne City break. We've had 2.5 of the extra 5. Kolakovski. Misplaced pass, but it's only half cleared by Wellington. Melbourne City still on attack through Luna. Urging his team into the attacking third. Luna again with a chance to measure across. It's a good one too, but Marinovic saw it coming in the Auckland sky. And to the cheers of the crowd, he safely pouches it. Ball happy to keep running. Clever over the top of Good. Sets up Davila. He shoots and it's palmed wide by Glover. Wanted to be sure, Tom Glover. Not sure that's going in, but he wasn't taking any chances. Once again, it's the tireless running of David Ball that created it.
Yeah, he works so hard, David Ball. Finds Davila. It was from that position that he won a penalty to win the last game here against the Wanderers. This time he puts that one and Glover wasn't sure. So tips that one round for a corner. This will go short again. Just waste some more seconds as the Phoenix try and run down the clock.
We've had 4 of the extra 5 minutes. Hooper gets away from a couple of defenders and heads back towards the corner. And unfortunately for Gary Hooper, he can't keep that one in. As he lost sight of where the lines are. He was playing over in the warm-up area. Last chance for Melbourne City, surely. Ball hands to the pump. Lockie Wales has come out to the left-hand side. Good is forward. Really good tackle from Alex Rufer. That is a good piece of defending from Alex Rufer, and that might just about be enough for Wellington. Rufer breaks forward again. Pursued by Atkinson. It's about 6 on 4 here now. Is there a cherry on top? McCallum can't find Kakachi, but it might not matter. The 5 extra minutes are up. Check of the watch from Alex King. A blow of the whistle from Alex King. A crucial Phoenix win at the Garden of Eden. Gary Hooper and David Ball about as English as tea and toast. And they've combined to give Wellington a vital win tonight. Full time at a jubilant Eden Park. The Wellington Phoenix 1, Melbourne City 0. Well, the manner in which it was achieved probably not as important as the outcome for Wellington, but an absolutely vital 3 points and probably a statement as far as the performance is concerned and the result against one of the A-League's top 2.
Yeah, I think so. I think this says to everyone that the Phoenix can beat the top sides in this competition, and come playoff time that no other side will want to come up against the Phoenix. It also keeps their top 2 aspirations alive, and so they can go look forward now